Have you had to deal with a lot of change lately? I know, me too. So today I wanted to share with you something that helped me deal with change and that I find myself talking to my clients about quite a bit, that even if you've already heard me tell this story, could potentially benefit you. And the tip is really something that not only takes the pain away from having to change something that perhaps was in the past very enjoyable to you, but also could potentially open you up to have whatever it is that you're having to change to be a lot more enjoyable. So there's this old Zen story about a man who fell into river rapids that led to a very high and dangerous waterfall. And while onlookers feared for his life, he plunged over the waterfall into the water below and seconds later emerged completely unscathed. So people asked him, "How did you survive that?" And what he told them was, "Without thinking, I accommodated myself to the water rather than the water to me. Plunging into the swirl, I emerged with the swirl. That is how I survived." What does that even mean? Well, I'll share with you a story from my own experience that I think kind of brings that story to life. So I'm a runner. I love running. Running to me, it's the outlet that allows me to blow off steam. It allows me to get outside, enjoy nature, be by myself, not be interrupted, get my heart rate up, do something that feels really good. And when I come back, I just feel like everything is easier and better and brighter. And so I increased my frequency of runs and my duration. And as luck would have it, I injured myself and I took myself out of the game. Uh, it was an injury that required 4 to 6 weeks to heal. And I was really frustrated about it because what was previously my go to was now no longer available to me. And I think a lot of us are experiencing this. Even if the thing that you no longer have access to wasn't even all that pleasurable, it may have been comfortable, it may have been familiar. And anytime something is ripped away from us, it's hard because we tend to want to fixate on what it was that we had and lament the fact that we don't have it anymore. And I was really frustrated that I couldn't go running. And I spent some time kind of feeling sorry for myself and lamenting the situation and venting to other people. And then I realized that that wasn't really making me feel very good. So I had to sit myself down and ask, okay, what is it that I really want? And I realized what I really want is another outlet. I need something that allows me to do some of the same things that running used to do for me, which was essentially having an outlet to blow off steam, to do something that is just for myself. I love listening to music. I love listening to podcasts. I love learning. I wanted to have something that would allow me to really do something that was good and healthy for my body, that would allow me to kind of unplug and and learn something or enjoy something. So I realized and I remembered that back in Christmas, I bought a subscription to Masterclass for a friend, and it was they were running a promo deal where if you buy one, you get one free. And I thought, cool, I'll keep one for myself. And I may have even set up an account for myself back in December, but between December and now, didn't ever really access it. In fact, I think I may have perused through all the things and gotten excited about watching a few of them, but never really allowed myself the time to sit down and actually watch any of them. So the funny thing is I had been getting these emails from Masterclass with like previews to some of their new courses and messages, like the subject heading would say something like, "Don't you want to learn about da da da," whatever it was. And I found myself saying, "Yes, I do want to learn about that." And so suddenly I remembered that, wow, that is something that I have access to. And then I also realized that we have a stationary bike in our house. It's something my husband uses all the time. My primary use for it is to dry laundry. But the thought occurred to me that perhaps this would be something I could try, and that if I could sit in a stationary way, perhaps I could also enjoy watching one of the master classes that had been calling to me. So that's what I did. And you know what? It actually has been a really pleasurable experience. So that was really locked in for me in terms of three things, really. One of them is I realized that in times of change, even though it's tempting to get fixated on the things that we're losing and really irritated, and to spend our energy and time either lamenting the fact that they're gone or trying to figure out ways to bring them back, which I did actually try to hit the road and run before my body was ready. It was not a good idea. That takes a lot of time and energy, and it ends up escalating frustration. So that's my one tip, is that uh, if you spend your time compelled to do those things, it's likely going to be a dead end. That was the thing that I learned anyway. The second thing that I learned was that if you can let go and surrender to what is occurring to you and let go of your assumptions that it's going to be unpleasant or difficult or impossible to navigate, it allows you to open yourself up to other possibilities, which I think is kind of in the Zen story equivalent to what the man said about plunging with the swirl and emerging with the swirl. It's when we try to resist the swirl that we get bent out of shape and bad things happen. So that was my second thing, was just learning the beauty of surrender. And the third thing that I learned about it is that as soon as you can let go of worrying about, fretting about, or trying to make or bring back whatever it was that you lost, and trust that whatever is unfolding in the moment perhaps isn't all bad, the third possibility opens up, which is that you can, in the absence of fixating on what you lost, begin to entertain the possibility of what you could do instead. That if you can identify what it is that you most want and ask yourself, what are the other ways in which you could accomplish that? It opens up a whole new arena of possibilities for you. And in some cases, those new possibilities, those new ways of doing things might bring you unanticipated gifts that you never would have discovered if you hadn't been willing to try it. So that's my tip for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm wishing you ease and flow and freedom in navigating all the things that life throws to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.